tutorials on Photoshop. I have never done it before, and I plan on doing this quite often. And it would be great if a few people like who was watching this can actually, yeah, can actually send in their photos and help me do this. So I study photography at Fanshawe College in London, Ontario, and this is a finished picture that we were given from our college, and this was given by a professor, and we had to do something similar. Now, what you see is an image where this guy is walking, this girl is trying to climb this thing. There's a fisherman, and then there's like seagulls, one here, one here. There's a plane, and there's a man who's skydiving. So this is a picture that we had to replicate, and yeah, this flare, the rainbow flare as well. So this is what we were given, and now we actually have to replicate that. Beginning with the first thing, you see these things. So what you're gonna learn how to like mask images, how to get them proper. Like if I zoom in here, oops. So yeah, okay, it's okay. If I zoom in here, you see how nice and clean this is. That's how we plan to do it. Like even the fishing string, I know you can't see it, but something you can do. It's not necessary that you need to have it like that, but we'll try our best to crop it to that level. Now, keeping in mind, all of these objects that you see in the picture are not of the original. The original one is just the background, and there was a lighthouse over here. I'm even going to show you how to take off that lighthouse. So let's begin. So professor gives us two options. One, you can use the original image. Second, oops, sorry. Second is this one. So he gave us two options, and obviously, I being a little spooky about my stuff, I chose this one. And so let's begin. Let's begin with the airplane first. Now, the first thing, this might not be the correct way how you're learning it in school or whatever, but this is how I've learned it. So, criticize everything is fine, but just don't hate things. So, the first thing is the plane. Now, plane is the easiest thing to do. I like saving on time, so I don't sit around with the lasso tools and stuff. I just take the quick selection tool, go right here. Oops. You play it probably. Well, the best thing what I like about the quick selection tool is that it's really quick. Like it's not quick for just namesake, but it's like really fast and really smooth with the handling. I know it's like kind of dumb saying smooth with handling that too with the Photoshop too, but yeah, that's something that I like. And now these extra bits and pieces, if you're using, I just know about the Mac because I have been using a Mac for Photoshop ever since. So if you have a Mac and you have like an extra selection, you can just go and hold the Option key and you'll see this minus sign, and you can just take stuff off like this, like which is extra, which you don't want to be, which you don't want as a part of your selection. So I go like this, go like this, and then just booyah. Now you must be noticing that this is fine. Like I can just click it once more and it'll be done. See? So the same goes here, same goes here. As you see, you should be seeing these marching ants all over your object once you've selected it. Oops, there's one portion which didn't get selected that way. So, yeah, some extra, so a bit of cleaning. I personally used to hate Photoshop when I came up, uh, when I started doing Photoshop. But then I realized that whatever I'm doing is just for fun, so it's not something to hate or something. So all you do now is go to this tool. I don't know what you call it, but just click it and you'll see everything else is gone. And you have something on it. This is called the mask. For this image, since it was really edgy and there were not soft curves or something where you had your selection pretty harsh, so this is fine. So we leave this one and go to the seagull. This is a bit tricky. Like even during my practical exam, it took me like 10 minutes just getting this thing done right. But I guess now I've got a nick of it, so won't be a big issue right now. At times you might face trouble with the selection, like if you have a curve like this, you might get something which might go out of place. So that's not a thing to worry about. Like you just need to hold your option key if you're a Mac user. I don't know what it is for Windows, I'm sorry, but yeah. And happy Independence Day to all my friends from India who are watching this. Whenever you watched it, not the best, but yeah. Then you might notice places like these which are slightly left out. This is where I'm going to show you how to get your edges proper, like not 100% proper, but uh, something where it is like decent enough which you can use. So there might be a lot of people who might differ from my way of working, but this is what I find easy, and this is what that I find really convenient for myself, and that's what really matters, right? Now you might be saying, like when I edit it, you might be saying that it's really edgy and there are like blue spots over here and stuff. So that's not a lot to worry about, but I'm gonna show you how to do it like exactly the way you want, like a soft finish. I won't say it won't be perfect, but yeah, a really nice and soft finish because it has to look good on your image, right? At the same time, just try to be focused and keep yourself hydrated whenever you're working on something like this because it takes a long time. And I've seen my friends dehydrating, and I won't say panicking, but yeah, at times you just get a little wacky with it. So now you see that we have like really hard edges here, a bit here, and even on the beak, and somewhere even here. You see blue, and seagulls are never blue. This is the wrong pixels that the auto selection picked up. And so what we're gonna do is click on this, go to select and mask. This is where it comes in. So when you go to smooth, you see how your edges are getting smoother, but it just fades in. Like if you look at the beak and if you look over here, the edges are not going off, but they just try to make it smooth. So you gotta bring it to a point where it looks decent enough. I guess this is good. Feather it so it gives a nice glow to it. Now, there must be times where you're not going to get your image 100% right, so just bump up the contrast if possible. And few bits and pieces can be taken off later as well, so I'm not really focusing on that right now. Okay, this is what you come up with. Then we go to the hikers. Now, my professor has just used one of these guys, and he hopefully told us to do the same. So that's what we're gonna do. A few people hate the quick selection tool because everything is done by Photoshop for you, but that's what saves time as well. And you obviously are gonna spend a lot more time if you're gonna be, selecting one thing separately. So it's my suggestion. Again, I'm not saying that it's the correct way, but it's my suggestion. If you do it like this, it's gonna be easier for you and it's gonna be faster for you. It's not the best way. I don't think it's the best way. Uh, so again, you see like the pixels have been selected from here to here, and if I'm gonna press option over here, that's what happens. Same thing here as well. But again, I want these pixels. So since this picture is not the sharpest, this again would be having like really rough edges and stuff, and we have to do the same thing that we did for the previous image and try to get rid of the hard side to it. Now, it isn't necessary for you to get the bag correctly because you just have to show him hiking and not like HD hiking. This is just a tutorial so you know how to do it. Now, what you must be noticing is his leg, but at the same time, if you see our image over here, he's gonna be walking over here. So if his leg disappears, he's gonna be walking over here. So even if his leg disappears, it's fine because it's gonna be in snow. And if you haven't seen snow, then you might not know. But yeah, your leg disappears in snow. Doesn't disappear, but just gets mixed up with the snow. I'm gonna zoom in a bit over here so you can see the difference. If I smooth it too much, you're gonna notice that I'm losing pixels here as well. So I'm not gonna smooth it. I'm going to the contrast and make it a bit contrasty so it fills in with the algorithm. Feather, not a good idea as well. Shift my edge, yes. Shift my edge towards the other side because I've got like a really hard side, and a bit of getting the edge on the other side is good for this image. So yes, this is what I'm. Make sure that whenever you do such an image, you just crop it down to the place you want it. Simple fact that when you're going to drag and drop the image on the outside, it's going to be way easier for you. Like though it might look abnormal right now. And then going on to this picture again. I honestly do not know if anyone is watching this right now, but I know that there will be a few views later. So yes. I don't look in my best shape because I'm sitting on my bed. I should eat something as well. Yeah, so what I was telling you is try to keep yourself hydrated while you're working because you work on such stuff for a long time. And it was told by professors as well, but it's really suggested to sit with a drink in your hand. If you can handle alcohol, why not alcohol? But if you can't and you can't concentrate and stuff, just stick to water or maybe pops or something. And here what we're gonna do is because you see this edge, towards the underside of its chest. So we're gonna take that off because we don't want this happening to our image. So select these parts. Again, we are gonna work on the rough edges on this image, so it's not a big deal if we don't get everything right now. But it's always suggested to get it right whenever you can. If it is possible, do it. If it's not, try to get it done later. Don't always depend on post production, but this is an assignment, so I had to do it on post. And again, the same way, we get the J and we get this woman out. Now, a lot of you might argue that this thing is not being seen, and then there's an edge left out over here as well, but that's fine. We can adjust that. And it's going to be in the eyes again. So, the mask, smooth the edges. No, no, no. Contrast, yes. Feather, no. Shift edge, it's not making a big difference, but I wouldn't mind doing it. And then you can smoothen out the edges if you have. You see, it makes slightly a difference, but it's gonna look good towards the end. That's how it looks right now. Then the fisherman. Okay, here's another tricky part. You see his leg is being covered by the piece of snow or the piece of ice block or something. You can just take this part of his shoe and clone it up over here when you're doing it over there in your final image. It's pretty easy, it's not a difficult thing to do, but don't forget doing it. There are times when I've lost mark for doing that. Surprisingly, I haven't got into any complications till now with the image, like with the marching ants coming outside and ruining this whole thing, like getting this whole thing selected. You might get it, but the easy way out. Like suppose if you're doing this, then you get this edge thing. What I mean right now, I did it on purpose, so you all can see what usually happens. I can just go there. Yeah, sweet. Now the tricky part of getting this thing selected is fishing rod. So we gotta make our selection tool really small with the pixel size, and as you go higher, you see it becomes thinner and thinner. So you have to go on decreasing your pixel size accordingly. It's not very difficult as a job, but if you can do it, it's great. This is what I was talking about. So when you're selecting something really close to another selection, it might not select this part but directly select this, but the easy way out, press option, boom, you're good to go. See. Mm-hmm. Now what you don't realize when you're working on such stuff, now since this is another person's image, that person must have clicked it correctly. That's what everyone assumes, but it's not always the same thing. So always check the white balance of an image. Highly suggested. If you get the white balance right, your image looks more soothing on all digital devices. There are times when I have like edited a picture really well on my laptop because it is calibrated. I calibrate using the eye profile thing, which is like a puck, like a calibration puck. So all you do is you have to install the software for it, get the puck. If you buy one, it's around $200 Canadian, Indian amount 10,000 rupees, and US $70. Sorry, $170 or something. So there are automatic calibrators as well for every device. Not really suggested because it shows you the color that the company has suggested, not the ones which are which are professional. Because the thing is, a profiler, what it does, a lot of people might be wondering what a profiler is. A calibrating profiler. So the calibrating profiler, what it does, it gives your screen the right color that a printer would see. Now, I'll give you a very good example. If you take a picture of something right now on your phone or on your DSLR or something, and then you try to take a print of it, it might not come out to the same way. So, always suggested, because printers are standard with the ink and stuff. It just depends from company to company what kind of thing it does. So I use the one which I have a facility in the college, which is the Epson Stylus Pro, and they're perfect, with the combination and stuff. Uh, I've never had issues with printing only once with AirPrint, which was the most stupid idea I've ever had in my life. So yes, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about printing as well. Hopefully, one of the days when I go to college and I have like a few printing papers, I'm gonna show you how printing does make a difference with the calibration and without calibration. I gotta text my buddy. Give me a second. Uh, so let's get back to it. So the guy who I've been texting is a good friend of mine. He is an MC. Uh, so the guy who you might be seeing like pop-ups coming up on my screen on the right, he is a really good friend of mine. He is the MC of the Reggae Rajas and India's first reggae sound system. Brilliant guys, and they brought me back to reggae, and I even got a tattoo of their name, the Reggae Rajas. So I want a T-shirt from them. I've been waiting for that one T-shirt. I have two other T-shirts of theirs, but I'm waiting for that one T-shirt really, really bad. Hopefully, I get it soon. So just to keep myself hydrated, I'm not being sponsored by them. I wish I would be, because I love Coca-Cola more than even water. So finally, I have one T-shirt of the regular just coming my way. I have to text my girlfriend to get it. Shouldn't be a tough job for her. So now the fishing line is really thin and it doesn't really matter because it's going to be fine on an image. Here's the trick part. Now you hold the shift key so you don't mess up the selection that you've done over here. That's why you press the shift key. And I messed up my selection over here, but it came back because it just selects a similar kind of structure and stuff. So this is good. No complaints. Yeah, this is good. We slightly here. Yep. And then we go back to this key. Now we've got everything correct on this, but yet it's not going to be 100% perfect. So we need to select a mask. So we go to radius, tada. Now first we shift the edge. I don't know why do they have this button over here, but here, and then we go slightly smooth. Yep. Okay. We don't need contrast because this image is really dark before even we thought about picking it. So this is how it goes. You can actually change the aspect ratio and stuff, but I like to keep it 8 by 12. I usually keep it 8 by 10, but 8 by 12 is something decent as well. So, and rainbow flare. This I'm going to do at the last because this is the easiest stuff to do. Seagulls. So the rainbow is a really tricky part. You need to pay 100% attention to it. And being honest, you shouldn't mess it up bad because it's easy, but like I lost track of it and I almost screwed it up in my exam and then realized how to do it again. It's easy. My exam was like just on Friday. Today is Monday, 4 days, yeah. And the same thing with this seagull. Not it's not really clear, but at the same time, it's going to be at the same distance from where the photographer has clicked it from, so it's going to be fine. Zoom in. So I never thought I would actually do Photoshop tutorials because I hate Photoshop personally. But it's something that I have to do it because it's fun. And if I'd be showing more of tutorials, I know that I won't be messing it up. And I would be having an knack of it. And if I mess it up, I can just go back to my videos and look it up as well. And since YouTube allows me to store it for free, it's really good. So, well, this one is not going to be seen that well. Just make sure that you've got your selection the way you want it and just like this. Now, there's another crop over here, but it's fine because it's not going to be seen that bad. Once you're done with it, leave it like this, it's fine. It's not a big deal. We go to the skydiving guy. Skydiving guy is here. Looks like an army man. Actually, he's an army man. If you know which army he belongs to with his uniform, comment down below. Now, this is smart by Photoshop that it has got out this crop on itself. But this, and we're good. My. I wish I could play some music along, but I'll start singing and lose track about showing things how it is done. And now you see it's perfect. Slightly you can shift the edge. I like doing that, so it gives me a slightly smoother image. See this? Okay. Now here's the fun part. I'm gonna close this image because it's dumb. No, I don't want to save it. It's already saved. Unsave. So I'm gonna go to this image. It has been clicked by my professor, Trevor Pottleberg. Brilliant professor. Like he's a kind of a professor where I'd like to learn Photoshop from. But he actually teaches us production. So I'm happy. Now it's not necessary for you to get the selection right, but if you can get it, really good because it's gonna look a bit messed up. But it's an easy fix as well, so shouldn't take a lot of time, and you shouldn't be wasting a lot of time on this as well. So yeah. My this is really surprising because my MacBook is getting hot. Like this has never happened before, and I obviously wish it doesn't happen anytime. So I'm going to use a patch tool. Again, not the smartest way of doing it. Now you might see there is a slight residue left over here of the same thing. What you can do in this case is go to the healing brush tool. Or actually, let's do it fast. It's gonna automatically select and make this thing proper. Like this. It sees what matches the best and then gets it off. So people actually don't have to worry about the images that bad. And now we've got like a clear thing. No one would even think about having, a lighthouse over here. That a lighthouse actually existed over there. So the airplane first. Go to the transform tool, pick it up. No, I don't know how. There are different ways to do it, but this is how I like to do it. Hold your shift key so you don't. This doesn't happen to your image. So when you hold your shift key and you even try to bring it up and down, it's gonna settle down with the ratio. It's not gonna mess the image up at all. So you're not gonna see like this abnormal thing. If you want to make it big, it becomes this big. But if you want to make it small, it becomes that. And it stays in the right proportion in the right ratio as well. So I've left that. Then I'll go to the. I'll close this because my job with the airplane is done. So I don't want to save it again because it's already there. I'll go to the seagull. What I'm gonna do to the seagull is I'm gonna crop it a bit because it's like too big for me right now. So yeah, this should. And I don't know if you guys remember, but this guy in the sample is here, and my professor has put a thing. Yeah, he's put an unsharp mask. So I don't like putting unsharp masks because it sucks. If you look at this when you zoom in, it looks so ugly. That's what I don't like about images at times. On canvas, it's gonna look this way itself, but I don't like it this way. So now what you might realize is that this plane is really small than the one which I have put. So my easy fix to that is this. Hold my shift key, close it like that, put it towards the edge of the image. Perfect. Then I go to my seagull, which I've just cropped. Go here, put him up over here. Same way. Hold your shift key so you don't mess up the size of it, the ratio of it. Now what is going to happen over here is that it has to flip the other way because it can't land on water. It has to land over here. So instead of going, to my windows or my filters or anything else over here on top, I've got this thing from Retouching Academy, which has like basic things. So it's really helpful. It has all these tools over here with the name. So suppose if you don't know what tool stands for what, you can just like say, okay, I want I want a dodge tool. So you just click over here and you get a dodge tool. This is really helpful. I've paid $60 for it, Canadian. It's cheap, it's nice, and I really like it. So flip horizontal, and there my bird is flipped, and it is in place. Now since Photoshop tells me to keep it like this, I'm gonna keep it like this because it looks pretty natural. With the stature, I'm not saying the image looks natural itself, but it looks really natural with this, with the kind of a position it is in. So I'm not gonna fiddle with it, and I'm gonna close it now because I have nothing to do with this in the image again. Then I got my hiker. My hiker buddy is gonna be picked up, dried and dropped the same way. If you know another way of getting your image which is already on your tabs over here, put down in the comment the shortcut or something because I have no clue about it. And even if I, oh, we messed it up a bit, but yeah, we can work on it. This guy is gonna be here. And what I'm gonna do is I can yet go to the select mask over here. So now he looks pretty natural. Tell me guys in the comment with the time whether this guy looks natural, whether the climber looks natural. The airplane obviously doesn't look natural at all. I know it, but it's a part of the assignment. And so does the seagull because he's really big. So I'm gonna make him a bit smaller as well. So once I'm done with the hiker, I'm again done. So don't save. Ice climber. This lady is going to be interesting because she was covered in snow and she was actually climbing a snow-clad mountain, and there are going to be white edges a lot, and it is going to be noticeable on this image. So let's check it out how it works out for us, for me, us, whatever makes you feel like home. You see, I see a lot of white edges, and I know it's going to be a small problem, but yeah, we can fix it. Oh yes, lot of white edges. This is where skill comes into play. I'm gonna make her smaller so it looks like she's actually climbing it. And now we're gonna go to the layer mask. Okay. We're gonna zoom in over here because this is our area of focus, right? So the feather is bringing back a lot of stuff. It's making it disappear, so we're gonna use smooth. Again, we see a lot of white lines. The other edges, we can yet wash it out. It's not a big deal. So I'm not gonna mess with that at all. So again, I'm gonna go to this image. So what I'm doing right now is I have the paintbrush tool and I have black. If I go to this, you see that, wait, I'm gonna zoom in over. So you might be seeing this black portion over here, and the white one is the girl. Alright, so the white portion is the girl, and the black portion is the one that we had masked. If you remember, we had masked out the girl from that image. So if we are going to paint black on the white portion, we will be able to kick out all of this and get the background so it looks easy. I'm going to bring in my opacity a bit so I don't mess up the image that bad, and the white can actually look gray and not, look fake. So this is what I was talking about. So you can easily get rid of the whites that were on the edge of the image. Now this is how it looks, and I have a lot more to do. It's a lot more. This is why Photoshop is time consuming, and I didn't like it in the beginning, but then I realized that Photoshop is life. because I can manipulate whatever things I want and create shadows, drop shadows, make it look much more natural and stuff. So yes, and if I press X again and get the white, I'll be able to bring back this part. Tell me, how do you like it? So if you like it, I'm surely gonna make more videos on editing in different styles. There are a bunch of videos available online on Photoshop how to do stuff. So I'm a learner myself, and I want to know from you people, how does it feel when you see a learner who's just using Photoshop since the last 7 months to manipulate images doing a job. If you like it, please do let me know. It just motivates me and it makes me understand that what I have to come up with the content and stuff. So since her hair is mingling with this, I'm gonna like get rid of a few of them. I'm gonna leave the ice on her shoe, the one over here, so it looks much more natural because you have icicles falling from the jetty as well, from the place where the lighthouse is, like these ones over here. And this is chromatic aberration. This happens a lot to a lot of images, so there are easy fixes for it. There's not a lot to worry about. It's easier to do it in Lightroom, that's what I feel personally. That's how I would do it as well in Lightroom, because it just selects your model of the camera and gets it off. And Lightroom is something that I like because you can get rid of the spots and stuff within seconds, and yeah, basically it's easy. I'm a little sleepy as well. It's like 2:20 a.m. But it's okay. I've slept enough in the afternoon. And so, like the time when I did it on for my practical exam, it went on perfect. Like I didn't have to do a lot of this. Maybe because at that time I did the selection quite well. I was given 3 hours to do it, so I must have done a pretty decent job. And so far, yeah, the image looks clean to me now. Just a few edges to work around, but that should be good. So this is my concern because it's not going to be seen that well. And I'm just going to keep an eye whether looks much better now. Like if I keep it at this, you can't notice it. Like you can obviously notice the girl over there, but you can't notice that there are a few pieces of ice on it there. Oh, yep. So we're good. And now we get our friend the fisherman. This guy won't be a trouble at all because we've cropped him perfect. Only a few things around the edges. And if you notice one thing, the sun is here, and correctly with the airplane, the sun hits it towards this side. But with the fisherman, he's lit up from the other side, he's lit up from this side, so we have to flip him again. And if you see, we would have had to flip him, but the brighter side on the hiker is this, is his right side, the side that he's facing. So we don't have to flip him, but we have to flip our fisherman friend. I'm gonna use the retouching tool because I am really lazy to go all the way and do it. So let's make a fisherman settle down first. Where we want him right here. Slightly smaller, but then we select the horizontal and he's good. Now good. Select and mask. Shift the edge and he's good. And if you remember in that same image what we had done and what we remember was his shoe. Now we're gonna do his shoe. I'm gonna do his shoe. I'm gonna take the patch tool. Actually, yeah, the patch tool. Clone stamp. That's easy. And where you see the curve right here, I'm gonna press my option key so it gives me the source point from there, right here, like this. Oops. Did I mess up something? Because it doesn't show up. All layers. You gotta remember that. Oops. Doesn't happen. So just try another tool. Yep, this works. Maybe because it's cropped out. Maybe. So it's okay, I'm not really concerned about it, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave them there. Last, I'm gonna do this at last because this is the most fun part that I love personally. I'm gonna pick up, get them into the same image, make them slightly bigger, and make them look like they're flying towards this. Yep, this is good. And then finally, skydiving guy. He's good because he's not really big, but yeah. Oh, oh. So now our professor told us to get a shadow for him. So we're gonna go smart. How could I forget? J. I say for how to do it, but who cares? Some, I don't know. That's how I used to do it, right? I did try it on the test. I don't know how, but probably because I'm tired or something, I'm not able to do it. But let's make another one, getting below this. Fine. A little dark. Now keep the opacity low so it looks like his shadow. That's what we want as an end result as well. So it looks like a shadow, but we don't want it 100% because you don't want a shadow like this. You want a shadow like this, right? Because the sunlight is coming this way. But actually, it's not. It's coming like this. So your shadow has to fall this way. So you're gonna move it. This should be okay. Yeah. And we're good. So far, we're good. Now comes the moment of the hour or whatever. We had our rainbow flare. Bring it here. Put it here. Make it nice and big. Get it right here. Now you must be wondering how we're gonna get rid of the black, and because selecting this is not really easy, so we go to normal and we go to screen. You will yet see the flare, but it's just gonna be a flare. It's not gonna be something fancy. You have an image like this, just like this, just like this. And if you want to use what? Oh, and always forget to press the checkbox, which is here. Oops. But first, let me take a selfie. Screen, and then you're good. Now for a background image, so it looks a bit more soothing and stuff. I usually use this thing uh, from the Nik software. It's available online for free, and I use the Color Effects Pro because it just makes it look better. Stream has been long. This is how we can make it look with just one click. It just gives it a dramatic look. Nik always does this. Nik software, Nik collection. I love it personally. It takes a long time. This is how your final image looks. To me, it looks decent enough because I've just done it for the sake and just for showing how to do it. Do such images, randomly something, put it up on a landscape and share it. Drop the link below if you've done, or just drop the image below, or whatever. Tag me on your images, I'll have a look at it. I will critique it. Again, I have a habit of critiquing and not saying whether it's good or it's bad, but I just critique it. Critiquing, a lot of Indian people don't get it. I'm saying that because I'm from India and I also know what critique is. So people think that critiquing is equal to criticizing, but it's not. It's something where we tell you whether how better it could be if you would have done something. We're not saying that you've done a bad job, but how something else could influence it as well. So that is what critiquing, according to what I have learned from my professors over here. That's good critique. So this is what I've done today for fun for my live stream. Let me know what you think, and that's it. Yeah, that's basically it for today. Thank you for watching the live stream. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are. Take care. Cheers.